Well, thanks so much for joining us at 9. I'm Ethan Kramer. Well, new tonight, early this morning, Fargo Police Department was dispatched to the 1200 block of 11th Street North for a report of shots fired. NDSU freshman linebacker 19-year-old Jaden Pickett was booked into Cass County Jail on several charges, including terrorizing and reckless endangerment after a shooting at a house party. FPD says their investigation showed that individuals attending a house party had engaged in an argument outside the residence. That the argument resulted in gunshots being fired into the residence. The investigation further showed that no one was injured as a result of that gunfire.